It's time to get my LS1 ready to start, but before I can do that, there's a few things that I need to do. And first up is installing the headers and the gaskets. And for those of you wondering, the full exhaust system will have its own separate video. My T56 Magnum F needs fluid. 4 quarts of Tremix approved fluid, and it's good to go. I used the shifter as the fill area, but this took forever. Next time, I'll definitely be using the fill plug. Once the fluid is in, the tick shifter goes on next. And then my prototype shifter cover gets bolted on. This 3D printed shift knob will have to do for now. In the future, I'm going to have one CNC'd out of titanium. My gas tank is empty, so I'll need to fill it up. I used my rectifier to turn the fuel pump on. I wanted to check the fuel pressure before I started the engine, but this rail-mounted gauge wasn't working due to the air that was trapped in the fuel rails. I tried purging the air while the pump was running, but that didn't work either. So I abandoned that and used the pressure sensor that's linked to my Dakota digital gauges. I set the fuel pressure to 60 psi and then locked it down. And with the fuel pump running, I'll do a fuel leak check across the entire fueling system. So that's the fuel lines in the engine bay, under the car, and at the gas tank. I made sure that my O2 sensors were plugged in. My Radlock plugs are attached to my lithium battery. I spun the engine over without spark plugs in it to prime it for oil. It started building oil pressure almost immediately. So I know that there are some people that are going to get their jimmies rustled by that, but that's how an engine primes itself after it's been sitting for weeks. Once I verified that I had oil pressure, I then installed the spark plugs and the spark plug wires. A quick hit of the ignition button and the engine started for the first time. So before I put the car in gear, I made sure the clutch was working properly with the wheels off the ground. Otherwise, a start in first gear might send my car directly into my garage walls. The car is lowered to the ground and the lug nuts are torqued down. quick wipe of the dusty windows, and the car leaves the garage for the first time in more than a year. So my full exhaust system is shown in this shot, but that's for another video. I'll have a separate video that will cover the fabrication of the exhaust system. So this LS1 in 4th gear at around 40 miles an hour at 1/4 throttle is already faster than my old 305 was at full throttle. That's a major milestone completed, but there's still a lot more to do, mainly the brakes not working well at all. I hope you stayed this long. If you did, consider supporting me on Patreon and follow me on Instagram.